Bruh. I'm trying to figure out my fingers here. The only thing you need to figure out is why you are not on PrizePicks yet, okay? Because PrizePicks is offering Chris Olave at 57.5 receiving yards. Borderline a free square. Michael Thomas is out. They're playing in London. This is his big game. Jarvis Landry's banged up. He's questionable. Kamara ain't been getting the target. Chris Olave has led the NFL in air yards over the last couple of weeks. He went off for 150 yards last week. Okay? 150 while Michael Thomas was playing. Chris Olave is like the only wide receiver left in New Orleans. Yes, Andy Dalton is starting. But did y'all see what Andy Dalton did with Darnell Mooney last year? Darnell Mooney was elite over the last 6 weeks of the season or over the last 6 games that Andy Dalton played. Andy Dalton made Darnell Mooney look like Randy Moss. Imagine what he's going to make Chris Olave look like, all right? Go nail Chris Olave over 57.5 receiving yards on PrizePicks right now because it's the right thing to do, ethically and morally. What's more ethical is using our promo code because we're introducing you to it, all right? So go hit PrizePicks, and when you do so, make sure you use promo code BDGE when you sign up. That'll get you a 100% deposit match. Whatever you put down, $20, you'll get $40 to play with using our link down below, using promo code BDGE. Go nail Chris Olave, 57.5 receiving yards. So disrespectful what they're doing to him right now. How we doing, everybody? It is Saturday. It's like 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, Western Hemisphere. I look way too pale. I need to turn the light down a little bit. It is Q&Assault Saturday, which is when you guys don't even say hello. You don't even ask me how I'm doing. You just immediately start to assault me with fantasy questions, which I find quite disrespectful. Again, another example of unethical, immoral type of behavior out of you guys, but I guess you're just a reflection of the energy that I've given off thus far. So yes, thank you for not asking, but I'm doing fantastic. Welcome. So if you want to be in next week's Q&Assault, what you can do is sign up to be a Big Dog member. That's bdge.co. And you'll see on the top, become a member, right? That'll get you into our Discord, and that'll get you the link into this private Q&Assault live stream. How we doing out there, everybody? How we doing? You won't ask me, but I'll ask you. All right, you don't want to answer? Cool. Good fucking talk. Liam, how you doing? How you doing? Currently have Richie James locked in my lineup over both DJ Moore and Elijah Moore. Am I a fool? You're not a fool. I like Richie James. I question if he has any upside. Like, I think in a PPR league, I think you could feel good about him getting you 10 points, but I also think you feel pretty good about both Moores getting you 10 points. So while I don't necessarily think you're crazy because Tony, Wan'Dale Robinson, like everybody is hurt on the Giants offense. Richie James is going to be a big player there. He's running the most routes. He's getting borderline the most targets. I would still take either of those other guys over Richie James. DJ Moore's been really disappointing. They get a really good matchup against the Cardinals this week, though. So I like DJ Moore. I believe I actually have Elijah Moore ranked higher than DJ Moore, though. So I'd actually get Elijah Moore into my lineup. He is he's super duper due. Okay. And if there's any indication of how this Jets offense has been, it's going to be a lot of pass attempts, even with Zach Wilson under center. So I would actually rank that Elijah Moore, DJ Moore, Richie James, Mr. Liam. Mr. Bob Lent, how we doing? In half PPR, would you go Samuel or Olave? Thought process at the start of the week, got Olave and whoever Dalton news. I think in the Samuels is pretty hard to bench as it is. Yeah, so basically, you know, how I started this video off, you could probably tell that my answer is going to be Christopher Olave. I just don't think there's any slowing this kid down right now. He's just so crispy. Minnesota Vikings pass defense is nothing really to fear. And I'm not worried about Dalton because, again, we saw what he did with a dude like Darnell Mooney last year, and I think that kind of carries over. Same type of player, but Olave's better. So I would go Olave over Samuel. J.J. Frost, start 3. Gabe Davis, Allen Lazard, Brandon Ayuk, Terry McLaurin, and Greg Dortch. All right, so the first thing I think – well, first of all, I need to know J.J. Frost. I need to know the scoring settings, and maybe I can get back to you if there are not a ton of questions. But you guys can't just be throwing out fucking questions out here with no sort of details to it, bro. It makes a difference, you know? Because, you know, Greg Dortch is a good PPR play, but also Rondell Moore's coming by. Davis is a touchdown scorer. So we need these things. We need these things, Mr. Frost. Oh, my God. I am such an asshole. Literally the next comment. Full PPR. I'd like to apologize to nobody. All right, so full PPR. I'm terrified about Gabe Davis. He was an easy sit for me last week. People played him. I thought he was clearly going to be a decoy, and then he had some sort of like setback, I think, during the week. So Gabe Davis, from an injury standpoint, is pretty much off my board right now. Let me see where I have him ranked. I have him ranked far down. So we'll just as much as it sucks, I have Gabriel Davis like pretty far down. Good player. You'd love to see him be healthy for a second, but we're not going to get that right now. So Gabe Davis is a sit for me. You have Lazard, Ayuk, McLaurin, and Greg Dortch. So Rondell Moore might be biking the lineup, but I feel like Dortch has earned himself a lot of playing time. It's a good matchup against the Carolina Panthers defense. They've let a lot of points up to slot wide receivers. So I actually think, man, this is going to be tough to do. I think I might sit Allen Lazard. I think Dobbs is going to really cement himself as the one. I don't think it's going to be a high volume passing offense this week because they're going against the Patriots who are going to have Brian Hoyer in. They're not going to need to score a lot of points. They're going to depend on their defense. They're going to depend on the defense, and I think it's going to lead to fewer pass attempts and just overall, low target number for Lazard. So I'm actually going to sit both Gabe Davis and Lazard. Tom, pick one. We have Javonte, Godwin, or Olave. Full PPR, Godwin game time decision. Yeah, you're not playing Godwin right now. I'd be pretty surprised if he plays. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but I would be surprised. I don't want to really put him into my lineup right away. And you have Javonte against the Raiders. That's, I guess, a good matchup, but like we really haven't seen enough out of him, to be completely honest with you. So I'm going to go Olave in full PPR there, Tom. Start Rodgers or Russ. Was going to give Russ one more shot against dog shit Raider D. Also stash T-Law and drop Rodgers. Yeah, dude, at this point, I feel like you're getting more upside in Trevor Lawrence and Aaron Rodgers. So I would probably start. I would probably take T-Law over Rodgers at this point. I do have Rodgers ranked one spot ahead of Russell Wilson in this week's rankings, but like anytime it's one spot apart, it's really not a big fucking difference for the long run. Yeah, I mean, like I'd like to give Russ a couple more shots just to see if this offense can get a little bit of continuity going. So I don't think it's a big deal for this week. And then T-Law feels like a player that honestly I might play. I think I'd probably take Trevor Lawrence and play him this week. I know Philly's defense is ferocious, but they're going to put a lot of points up, and I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have to score a lot. Wasn't enough space to say hello, but how you doing? I don't want to pity. How you doing? Lost in the fantasy sauce. What up, beer man? How are you, Cheryl? I also don't, these are just pities. It's fucking sickening to me. You guys don't even care. Start for half PPR. Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Lamb. I wish you would have just said sit too. Would have made my head a lot easier. Okay, so Kirk for sure is in your lineup. Mike Evans for sure is in your lineup. I'm going to play Sutton as well. And then it comes down to Lamb, Mike Williams, Bateman. I'm going to sit Bateman. Man, it's really hard to sit Mike Williams with Keenan Allen out. But I really, Justin Herbert did not lend himself a lot of trustability after last week. So as crazy as it sounds, I think I'm going to play CeeDee Lamb over Mike Williams. I'm going to sit Mike Williams and Rashad Bateman. It's a good fucking problem to have, though, dude. My dude, you have Wilson ahead of Dobbs. I hesitate on Wilson because the Rams are the second best against running backs. Wilson. Garrett Wilson. Oh, running backs, Jeff Wilson. Yeah, I mean, we just know what we're getting from Jeff Wilson, man. And as much as I think Romeo Dobbs has a ton of upside, maybe not. Maybe one of these injured guys plays and his target share goes down a little bit. I think upside is with Dobbs, safeties with Jeff Wilson. Yeah, there's not gonna be a lot of running lanes for Jeff Wilson. So if you need upside plays, like I wouldn't have a problem going Dobbs over him. Full PPR, one wide receiver, one flex, Olave, Garrett Wilson, Judy, Hunt. Ooh. I'm going to start Olave and Hunt. Full PPR, Kamara or Cook. I think this is actually the week that Kamara gets it going. So I know it feels like I'm going all in on the Saints, which feels like it could be problematic with Andy Dalton at the helm. I do think Michael Thomas is out. Let me see if I can get confirmation on Jarvis Landry. Like they should be out in London already. Is he fucking playing or what? Officially questionable. Officially fucking sit on these nuts. Tell me if he's out. I'm going to go Kamara. I just think that with Dalton under center, he's going to get more targets. I think this is a breakout game for him. He's been coming back from the rib cartilage injury, too. So each week that goes by, he gets a little bit more healthier. Keelan Grady. No. If Gabe Davis is sit this week, am I starting ETN, Elijah Moore, or Treylon Burks? Ooh, I like Elijah Moore and Treylon Burks. ETN's not a guy I want in my lineup yet. I think I'm going to play Treylon Burks. I think this is the week we see him take over as the one there and not look back. Like McKenzie, Zay Jones, or Craig Reynolds full PPR. Oh, McKenzie for me. If I'm down on Davis, I got to be up on McKenzie. Zay Jones feels like he's less than 100% after getting that midweek downgrade. So I'm gonna play it safe here and go McKenzie. And we have no idea what Craig Reynolds' role is going to be outside of a breather back for Jamal. So I think that's a little bit risky. Would you drop Robinson right now and pick up Hopkins? I also have Murray. Guys, can we please include first names? Please. I could think about it, but like Robinson. We're talking about Allen Robinson. Are we talking about Brian Robinson? You know, like come on over here. I got fucking 600 players in my head. Full PPR, need one. Garrett Wilson, Dillon, or Hunts. I like actually, you know what? Dillon could be like a sneaky bounce back candidate here. Because the Patriots' run defense isn't great. And again, the Packers are 10-point favorites. So I think he gets involved pretty heavily. Garrett Wilson should be interesting, but Zach Wilson's back, so that puts a little bit of wrench in it. It's really close between Hunt and Dillon for me in full PPR. Hunt, you know, is going to be involved. This is really, really shitty Falcons defense. So I think between the two of them, you have a couple good options. All right, Atlanta's defense is shitty, but I think their run defense is a lot better than their pass defense. Call me crazy, but I'm gonna go with Dillon here. I think it's a bounce back week for him. Stash Rashad White or Melvin Gordon. I have Javonte. Man, if you have Javonte, I'd probably hold on to Melvin Gordon. But if you don't really give a fuck and you just want upside, I'd go Rashad White. Already answered that, I believe. Tiered PPR. Okay, so wide receivers take precedence over running backs. So that just solidifies what I said before, pretty much. Watch Dr. Morse's video this morning on Brian Robinson. How are you feeling about Brian Robinson coming back? Yeah, dude, I think Antonio Gibson stinks. I've been pretty vocal about this. He's basically just the NFC version of Joe Mixon, who's just being force-fed volume. I've been fucking spot on with Joe Mixon for years. Guy has no explosiveness. Like Antonio Gibson, same shit. I don't care about what their combine looked like. They look like shit on the field. Gibson had the good week one for sure, and he's made a couple plays, but like I think Brian Robinson takes over the lead role in that backfield like 3 weeks after returning. So Robinson's definitely a stash for me. Sorry, dude. Don't apologize. Don't take it personal when I get mad. I'm just a fucking angry person all the time. So when I get angry, it's not at you. It's at me. Talking about Allen Robinson dropping for Hopkins. It depends. I mean, if you're not using Robinson, he looks cooked, man. Robinson does not look good. So I'd like to have him through the bye weeks. So depending on like what your bye weeks look like going forward, if you need him for your lineup, I'd hold on to him, obviously, because now is the more important than later. You never know what's going to happen down the line. But if he's just sitting on your bench and you're looking for like a stash, I'd probably just go for Hopkins then, because Robinson doesn't look like he's beating people in coverage. He keeps fucking dropping easy passes. Like he doesn't have the alpha in him right now. I don't see any like 120-yard games coming from him. It just feels like he doesn't have that in him. Like he might keep ripping off like 4 for 60 games and score a touchdown every other time or something like that, but it doesn't feel like he's really, really there anymore. So, big dog, what up, Mr. Inf? Full PPR, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Curtis Samuel, Garrett Wilson, Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah, I think I'm going to sit Ramondre. I don't really want a committee and a Brian Hoyer-led offense. I think it's going to be ugly out there in Green Bay. I think Green Bay is just going to demolish this team. So give me the 2 wide receivers there, especially in full PPR. Treylon Burks or Josh Palmer, 2-point PPR. I mean, it doesn't really make it that much more interesting for me. I still think I go Burks. I think he's got a lot of upside. Add Treylon would have to drop A-Rob in full PPR. Add Treylon what? For what? Stash. Wait for what question? I'm not even sure what I'm answering, to be honest. Start 2 full PPR. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, Dalvin Cook. Jamal Williams is a must start this week. Man, Dalvin Cook is a tough one. I feel like I can't give a right answer on this, to be honest with you. So Dalvin Cook has the shoulder injury. The likelihood of him re-injuring it is pretty fucking high, but we also saw last year when he was hurt, we thought he was going to be out, and all of a sudden he plays on, I think he played on a Thursday night game. It was a primetime game, I remember. He was like supposed to be out for it, and then all of a sudden he was like, yeah, I'm going to play, and then he ripped off like 200 yards. So I never want to doubt Dalvin Cook. This is a tough Saints defense. I think I go Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams here in full PPR. Meant, should I pick up Treylon and drop A-Rob? Yeah, same sentiment, to be honest with you. These are all like lateral moves to me. I don't think either of them are a huge deal. If you're playing A-Rob right now, hold on to him. If not, like, I'd rather play A-Rob like right now, but it's not far off. I do think Treylon probably has a little bit more upside going forward. So I guess rest of season, if I had to lean one way or another, I think I probably take Treylon, which is kind of disgusting. I picked up Mariota and was going to bench Russ, but what are your thoughts? Thanks for the help. Of course. Mariota. I have Mariota as my 13th ranked QB, and Russ is my 15th. So I actually would be playing Mariota according to my rankings. He's got the rushing stuff going on. They also just had, I believe, who was just ruled out? There's a couple players on the defense for Cleveland, big-time players that were ruled out. So that's going to, like, Myles Garrett was ruled out, but I think there might have been other players. The pass rush won't be anywhere near as strong in week 4. Jadeveon Clowney is questionable. He sat out the first 2 days of practice this week, and he was not spotted on the field Friday. He appears more doubtful than questionable. So they might be without both Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett there. So that's obviously a huge boost to Atlanta. So I'd go Mariota there, yeah, somehow. Half PPR, Stevenson or Penny? Give me, I want to say Penny. I got to update my rankings, I believe, but I'm kind of in on Penny this week because of the matchup. Also, Kenneth Walker's banged up, but I think he's been practicing. Yeah, I think I'd go Penny here. Lions or Bills defense? Ooh, interesting. They are in sort of similar spots. I believe let me check this out. The Lions are 3.5-point favorites, but they're at home. The Bills are 3-point favorites, but they're on the road, obviously, in Baltimore. They do get Dane Jackson back this week. I want to see if we have updates on the other players out here in Buffalo, because they've been banged up on defense, obviously. I think that's a lot of the reason why Miami was even, in that fucking, they obviously won, but like they were so banged up. So their offense is healthy. Their defense is still very much hurting. Micah Hyde's obviously out for the year. Jordan Poyer is playing through a foot injury. Dane Jackson, I believe, is playing week 4. Tre'Davious White, we'll see, he's on the pup still, so I think he's still out. Yeah, they're still banged up on defense, but they still have a great pass rush. My only problem is like their pass rush is their strength, and Lamar's obviously one that, like, when the pass rush comes, he is the best in the league at fucking getting away from it. So it's like push comes to shove there. Who do you feel wins that matchup? Man, my other concern with the Lions, though, is that their offense is so banged up without Amon-Ra, without DeAndre Swift. And a lot of the times a good offense leads to a good defense in fantasy. Field position, time of possession. They score points. They put the other team in distress. But they are playing against Geno, they were playing against the Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks have scored like 7 points since that week 1 game. Now that we've talked it over, now that we've just had a really good time talking about it, I think I'm actually going to go with the Lions defense there, which is really a shitty thing to do over the Bills defense. How do you feel about dropping one Schultz or Conklin for Taysom Hill? I'm going to go with no there. Do you watch Eckler's Edge? No, I do not. Is that the show with him and Matt Harmon? Patriots look like the 4th best against running backs. How do you feel about Dillon? I feel fine about Dillon. I think he's going to get a ridiculous amount of volume. I don't think they're the 4th best against running backs either. I mean, their rush defense grade per PFF is 20th or 21st in the NFL. Maybe statistically they've just let up that many rush yards. That's probably because other teams are passing on them. How do you feel about Olave with Dalton at the helm? Absolutely love him. Absolutely fucking love him. Michael Thomas is out. Olave. I'm interested in what you've heard about Gabe Davis. Actually, everybody else seems to be acting like he's starting as a great play against the Ravens. Yeah, I talked about this earlier on. It felt so obvious to me. Like last week with Davis and Michael Pittman ended up having a good game, but he was really bad for like 3 quarters. Like these guys are coming off injuries that are not even close to healed. Gabriel Davis is clearly still banged up. He's like limping at practice, re-injured himself. Davis is not a guy I'm really interested in playing this week. I think he's hurt. I think if he does play, he's probably playing at like 60%, and that's not a guy I really want. Rams have been bad against the pass so far. Do you like Ayuk, and do you think Ramsey will be on him or Debo a lot? Yeah, I don't think Ramsey's going to shadow anyone in this offense. It's too tough because Debo's like too much of an internal like hybrid player, so you're not going to put Ramsey running all over the field on him. And Ayuk, I feel like, is not up to par to be someone who he would shadow. I'm fine with both guys. I think both of them are going to be fine this week. So yeah, I'd be playing Ayuk if I had him. I mean, he's a wide receiver 3, but I think he's got some upside with Jimmy G. Neither of them are avoid guys for me. Flex spot, full PPR. We have CeeDee Lamb and Dameon Pierce. Ooh, that's interesting. Let me look at a few things. If you guys are watching after the live stream, probably, because if you're in the live stream, you probably already have access to it. But joining our membership, becoming a Big Dog member on BDGE.co, get you access to the live streams, but also get you access to our weekly rankings. So if you don't want to sit here and ask questions and wait for me to answer them, you could always just look at our rankings. They're up and available on the site right now. What question was I fucking answering? Dameon Pierce versus CeeDee Lamb. I have CeeDee Lamb ranked a little bit higher. I don't think I've given him enough credit probably for him playing okay under Cooper Rush. So full PPR, I think I'd go with Lamb. Pierce is not catching enough passes for me to be, I love him as a talent, but I don't think I love him in full PPR. I mean, he's good. He's like a nice RB2, but I think Lamb probably has a safer floor and a higher ceiling. Ooh. Bitch, who do you love? Half PPR, Miles Sanders, Zeke, Dobbs, Bateman. Jeez. All right. Well, Miles Sanders, I think, is probably, I don't want to say off my board. The Jacksonville Jaguars run defense has been phenomenal this year. They're like arguably the best run defense in the NFL right now. And Miles Sanders does not catch passes whatsoever. So I think he's probably off my board. Zeke looked pretty good last week. They're playing Washington, but I don't know how many scoring opportunities they're really going to get. I love Dobbs, man. I feel like it's risky to tell you to play Dobbs when you have safe options like that. And then we have Bateman against the Bills. Dobbs and Bateman are both really interesting to me. I think I have I have Dobbs ranked higher than Bateman, but I like both of them a lot. Actually, probably got to move Bateman up a little bit. Let me move the bait god up. Where are you? Come on. Yeah, so I have Dobbs as wide receiver 24 on the week. I have Bateman as wide receiver 30. They're not very far off in the overall rankings, but I think this, and I just think the Green Bay Packers are going to absolutely control this game and just kind of like do whatever the fuck they want. And it feels like Dobbs is becoming the one there for Rodgers, and the Patriots are a bottom 5 pass coverage team according to PFF's grades. I was looking at PFF today, and they have Patriots giving up the fourth least. Oh, I mean, fourth least fantasy points. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that's like a predictive stat. That's kind of more like situational. Oh, if they're on the goal line, maybe it's 3 weeks in, so it's like, okay, this team was on the 1 yard line and they decided to do a play action pass instead of run the ball. That's like a 6 point swing in fantasy points. So I tend not to look at, like, especially this early in the season, just straight up fantasy points as a predictor because it's not very good. I like PFF's grading system because they grade every individual player, every individual play, and give it a grade, which I think is a little bit more predictive of how good an actual defense is. Garrett Wilson be a deep threat or Zach? For Zach, or is he more of a possession wide receiver? Right? I mean, he's both, dude. Garrett Wilson's awesome. He's a complete player. Think of like Stephon Diggs. Think of Odell Beckham. Think of Stephon Diggs. He can be a possession guy. He can be a line of scrimmage yak guy. He can be a downfield guy for sure. I mean, that's why they got him, man. They got him to be a number one. So they picked him, top 15, top 10. How do you feel about Jacoby Myers rest of the season? I got him for Penny a few weeks ago, but it seems like Myers' injury is not really healing. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm never really excited. I'm not excited about Myers whatsoever anymore. He's already out this week too, so it's like rest of season. How excited can you be? We don't know how long Mac Jones is going to be out for. I mean, the ceiling for an offense led by Brian Hoyer is probably like 17 points a week. Myers already doesn't score touchdowns, so if you were ever banking on that, I mean, of course, he had his nice like 9 for 95 game, but like his fucking fantasy just cycles the same thing over and over and over again. Just like he has 6 games of 5 for 50, and then he goes 9 for 90. And everyone's like, he's so underrated. He's so underrated. And I like him too. He's a good separator and a good route runner, but I think we know what he is at this point. Don't let like 1 week of recency bias cloud you from the last fucking 2 years of who he is. Speaking of, I said comping Garrett Wilson to OBJ. This helmet right here, this beautiful matte orange Super Bowl helmet, is signed by Odell Beckham Jr., and we're giving it away to somebody. We're giving it away to anybody that signs up on Pristine Auction. All you got to do is go over to Pristine Auction. You don't even got to put any money down. But when you sign up, if you use promo code BDGE for the first time, they're going to give you $10 to spend on their website. It's a beautiful website that has memorabilia like signed helmets, jerseys, whatever. Maybe I'll sign the shirt, put that shit up there for y'all. You can get any sport, any piece of memorabilia, beautifully signed. Throw it in your man cave, throw it in your woman cave, throw it at your mother. Who cares? Honestly, this would look good on your mother. Tell me not. Go to Pristine Auction. Link is down below. When you use promo code BDGE, you're going to be automatically entered into this raffle that we're going to do once a month for this helmet. It's going to look beautiful wherever you want to put it in your living room. Free to do it. Go to Pristine Auction. Sign up. They're going to give you $10 to win your next auction for a piece of memorabilia, but you're also entered into the raffle. So Pristine Auction, go check it out. Go love it. Go learn it. Go live it. Sheesh. Full PPR, AJ Dillon or Jeff Wilson? AJ Dillon. Browns or Lions defense? Lions defense. Browns are without their Davian Clowney and Myles Garrett. Full PPR, Bateman or Dillon? Ooh, now we're talking. That's really close. I think I go Bateman there. I think I go Bateman in full PPR. I think I go Bateman. All right, y'all. Seems like the question steams have died down. We're at the 30-minute mark anyway, so we're going to wrap up Q&Assault. Got some plans for the rest of the Saturday. We're heading into Brooklyn. We got a sample sale for one of my favorite apparel companies, Only NY, so hopefully we can cop some deals. That's it. I love y'all, so make sure you do 2 things. Actually, make sure you do 10 things. You ready? Get a pen and paper. Go to Pristine Auction. Sign up for free. Use promo code BDGE. When you do it, you're automatically entered into the signed giveaway raffle. Let's swap helmets and talk about PrizePicks. Go sign up on PrizePicks. Use promo code BDG if it's your first time. They're going to 100% deposit your match and go hit that Chris Olave 57.5 receiving yards line. It's fucking locked. And then again, if you want to be in Q&Assault next week, if you want the in-season weekly rankings, you want our waiver wire rankings, that is all available on bdge.co memberships. I love you guys, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I think I'm actually going to do a free public live stream tomorrow, a call-in show. We're going to fuck around and do a call-in show tomorrow before the games. Sure.